Welcome to my podcast. I am so excited to be starting this. It's a little bit scary, especially sort of being just me, myself, and I. But I will have guests along the way, and I'm just, excited to get this going. So I thought it would be right to share a little bit about me first and sort of where this has come from, what I do, and why I am who I am, I guess, without sounding a little bit too much, and where my love for fitness began. And I have been dancing or have danced since I was teeny, since I was like 2, 3. I did little ballet classes, and it all kind of stemmed from there. But there's quite a bit in between that. So I did a little bit of gym training when I was at secondary school with some friends. We went after school, we walked from school, which was probably about 25, 30 minutes. And then obviously we walked back home again, the gym in between. Probably didn't get home for a good few hours. But obviously didn't really know what I was doing. But I always wanted to sort of feel quite sort of serious in what I was doing. Even back then, I've always been quite determined in pretty much everything I do. And I carry that with me. And so we went to the gym after school and I would learn more. I mean, my friends they'd always have a bit of a giggle and I'd always be that person just trying to sort of know what I was doing, even though I wouldn't have a clue. I wish that I had a PT at that age, at 16, but I wouldn't be where I am now with knowing what I know now. So yeah, that is the start of it all. And it's all a domino effect. So then I did dance at school. I did dance at GCSE. So it got quite serious. And I went to college. I danced professionally at college. And I didn't do too much gym at college, but it was very jam-packed with classes and performances. And I started out in pantos from year 7. So it was way before that. So I've danced all throughout. I did pantomimes and musicals in the summer, and I continued that during college. Then obviously when I went to uni, it was I had to try and balance everything and figure out what I was doing at college, from college to uni. So I did some cheer at uni. I did some pantomime work, which was awesome. And I love always being on that stage and performing in front of friends and family and sort of bigger audiences as my theatre group began to grow further to the standard that they are now, which is phenomenal. And then, so we're at uni and I took gym a little bit more seriously. We were in the studio at 8 a.m. most mornings, so I didn't have quite the uni experience that everyone else did, going out 3 times a week. And I sort of planned in a few more gym sessions. I decided to get a little bit more serious with my friends at the time, who I am still very, very close with now. And I just sort of cracked on. So I started my fitness page now. And when I look back, it was shocking. It was, oh my God, I don't even want to look back. I don't even know if the videos are still there, but way, way, way back when I started my fitness Instagram, which is now obviously my business and my existence on that page. I remember taking a video of me doing walking lunges on a treadmill, and I would never, ever, ever encourage anyone to do that now. Just do them on the floor. Just do walking lunges, static lunges. The list is endless of the lunges that you could do. Don't do them on a treadmill is my first recommendation to you all. And I just started filming. I filmed myself. I was also going, so the gym that I went to at uni, I was also going to the Pure Gym linked back at home locally. So when I was home, I didn't go to uni that far away. even though my mum still thinks or still thought I was 5,000 miles away. I was only 25 minutes down the road. And so I had both gyms. And so whether I was at home or whether I was at uni, I went. I went 2 to 3 times a week. Sometimes that would be more. Wouldn't really sort of know. I didn't know what a gym split was. I just kind of thought, okay, upper, lower. Never really trained upper properly. Didn't thought, never really needed to train chest, but actually it's the best. Chasing a chest pump is what I love now. And I connected more with the PTs of the gym at uni and at the gym sort of back at home, which I'm now still all very close with now. And without knowing sort of who they were, I wouldn't have the same inspiration that I do now. And I still carry that with me, and I still am in contact with them. I'm still regularly seeing some of them, and the people in that gym as well. They really elevated me to push, and I understood more. And even looking back now, I would use barbell pads when I would do squats. Ditch it. We don't use barbell pads when we squat, people. And I remember just filming so much and being excited by seeing a little baby bicep or, flexing my shoulders. Little did I know that was not how you flexed. And it just all began there, and it developed, and the conversations that I had with people and understanding how they move and how they train and what type of training like the PTs do and what classes they did. I never really took part in many classes. I love classes and I love teaching classes now, but they've never, I may have done a couple, but I've always loved just learning the equipment and learning how it feels. And I remember waking up one morning at uni and I could not walk, and I was thinking, I've not had that experience before, and I thought, oh my goodness me, this is what it feels like. But I probably was doing it all wrong. But again, that's how you learn. And how I fell in love with it. But the reason I got so into the gym was when we were training in the studio and dancing for hours on end. It was tough. It was tough on the body, and I didn't want to feel weak. I didn't want to feel like I was going to injure myself or be prone to injuries. And I had lots of friends that had constant shin splints, had constant pulls in their muscles and sort of pulled this and twisted that. And, obviously accidents we can't help, but I wanted to feel as less accident prone as possible and as strong and stable so that I didn't roll my ankle or I didn't pull a muscle or twinge something. And that was where I really started to get into things during uni. And it snowballed. So my fitness page got a little bit more, I used it more and more instead of my personal. I barely use my personal now. And I loved posting and I loved sharing. And I remember seeing people do some photo shoots and thinking, oh, wow, like that's awesome. And I never ever thought that I would be able to do something like that. And little do I know, here we are, 3 shoots down and a stage prep as well. And obviously I will get more into that when in my next couple of episodes and sort of sharing my journey to becoming a PT as well as a bodybuilder. But it was a constant like domino effect of how things just came about. And what I learned, and it's so fascinating. And being around the people you train with, I did some lockdown classes on Zoom, and I've now got a group of friends for life from then, and they're the people that inspired me to do a photo shoot and to look at the gym a little bit more seriously and train a little bit more seriously and really take it all in. And that I'm grateful for every single day. And I decided to do a photo shoot myself. And I never ever wanted to compete, but obviously here we are, just finishing my first season. And so this was how it all started and how I fell in love with fitness. I always forget that people always say to me now, why do you do what you do? Have you always known? Absolutely not. I was going to follow my love for dance, but I didn't. But my love for dance is the reason I fell in love with fitness. And that I find is almost magical. And yeah, so we just keep going. We keep learning, learn from those around you, learn from different training styles. But more importantly, it's finding what you love. And there is no one size fits all with training, and it doesn't have to be gym training. It can be classes, it can be yoga, it can be swimming, cycling, cold water swimming. If you like that, that is my idea of hell. But I know a lot of my clients and take part in cold water swimming and also ice baths and things. But they love it. Everyone loves or should love what they do, whether it's running or just having a little boogie in your bedroom to a YouTube video or following a dance video on YouTube. It's amazing what you can do, and there is no limit to that. So yeah, I would always just take one step forward. I would always recommend to just keep stepping forward, but do what you love and be inspired by that as well. It's fascinating what can happen when you take more in from what is around you. I think when we're closed-minded and no, I don't like fitness, but fitness comes under a huge umbrella. You know, it doesn't have to be running, or it doesn't have to be the gym, or it doesn't have to be bodybuilding. It doesn't have to be, you know, there's calisthenics, there's so many, there's Pilates. And I know so many people who do different styles, but it's about doing what you enjoy. And that's how I sort of got to where I am today and loving the gym. And I wouldn't have it any other way now. Now, when someone introduces a new style or suggests a style of training to me, you know, I love what I love. You know, we stay in our safe space. So, you know, maybe I need to take a leaf out of my own book and get out of my comfort zone to try something new. But equally, I don't know that might lead me somewhere else. I think as humans, we're very closed-minded, and we know what we like and we know what we don't like, and that's that. And we'll never get fit, or we'll never get healthy, or we'll never understand this. Just take it in. What are people saying? What are people around you doing? And that's the best bit. So that would be my advice. But also, I just wanted to share with you how it all started for me. And I think there's something really powerful in feeling stronger in what you do. Again, we accept whether it's when we get older or we've got weak wrists from when we were younger and we constantly broke our wrists, or I always roll my ankle, or I'm, you know, always pulling a muscle, or I've always got shin splints. There are so many things that we can do to help with those things and aid those things. And we shouldn't feel like that. We should feel strong in our bodies. And I have a lot of people and clients say to me, you know, I've got no upper body strength, and I guarantee you within the first session, you know, their perception of what their upper body strength is has completely changed. And yeah, and that's what I think. You know, I never used to be like, oh, why do I need to train chest, which I highlighted before, but actually knowing how I can connect with my muscles is so much more powerful in how I do things, and how much more in tune I am with my own body as well. And yeah, so that, I guess, concludes things pretty well. Join me on my next episode to explain how I became a PT, how I became a personal trainer, and a story that I'm so excited to share with you all. And not everyone has followed me on this journey. And yeah, so stay tuned. And a lot of guests are coming in, and I'm really excited to share what they have to say on the topics that we talk about as well. So yeah, thank you so much for joining, and stay tuned for what is in store.